Hi, today we're going to be looking at the Atari 2600 port of the 1981 arcade classic Donkey Kong. Now this game was published by Nintendo, but the home ports were developed by Coleco, and along with the Atari 2600 was also released on the ColecoVision and Intellivision. Now, other than being a classic in its own right, this game's notable for being the first outing for both Donkey Kong and Jumpman, who would later come to be known as Mario, both of which would become their own incredibly popular and successful franchise. Now this game was developed specifically to try and break the American audience for Nintendo, and by all intents and purposes appears to have worked very well. Now the Atari port is a stripped down version of the arcade one and consists of two stages that just loop over and over, which is easily forgiven considering the hardware you're working with. The first stage you navigate Jumpman over a series of slanted platforms, jumping over barrels that Donkey Kong's rolling and climbing up ladders. Now this is what comes to mind when I think of the original Donkey Kong game, and it's such an iconic image, I'm sure other gamers will agree. The same can't be said for the second stage, which involves you again zigzagging across the screen and running over rivets in the floor, which causes them to drop out, trapping the fireball enemies which are running about on these platforms. Now this is the weaker of the two stages, and it gets quite aggravating, both because the movement of the fireballs is so erratic at times it can take lives away from you, and not because of your lack of skill, more because the fireball just changed its direction while you were directly over its head. It's quite annoying. The second reason being the pain-in-the-ass hammer that appears on one of the platforms, that if you happen to be jumping near it, you'll end up picking it up and then you're stuck at the bottom of the ladder until the hammer power-up runs out. Now the aim of both of these stages is to get to the top of the screen and to rescue the damsel in distress who, whilst called Lady in this game, would later come to be known as Pauline. Each and every time you get to her, however, Donkey Kong whisks her away and takes her onto the next screen, so you never actually get to her, which I find quite annoying because it strips Donkey Kong of one of its most important aspects, which was it was the first game to have a complete narrative that came to a conclusion at the end when Jumpman finally rescues Pauline from Donkey Kong. Unlike other Atari games, Donkey Kong doesn't seem to get faster or any more difficult as the game goes on. Instead, you're limited to just 2 lives, which can easily be taken away very quickly if you happen to be caught out by one of the erratic moving flames I mentioned earlier, or even get taken by surprise by one of the barrels that sometimes roll down the ladders rather than pass over them on the first stage. It's also a shame that the home port loses a lot of the platforming aspects that made the arcade version so special, as one of the very first platformers. These facts, combined with the issue that there are only 2 levels in this game, make the home port rather disappointing for a gamer who picks it up today and may not realise the importance of this game and wonder what all the fuss is about. Okay, so that's Donkey Kong for the Atari 2600. Whilst it wasn't the most impressive game I've looked at so far, I can forgive it just because it's so historically important to gaming, for its connection to the beloved arcade classic that brought us both a fantastic and memorable game, and for bringing us Donkey Kong and Mario. So that's it for now. I'll hope you'll check out some more of our videos, and I hope to see you next time. Take care.